welcome to Reality Hour. I am Adam Samuel. Today, we are talking Hollywood Week. There's only one more week of shows remaining, but we are still here. We are still talking about our favorite reality show, at least in my case. So joining me for this podcast is my co-host, Eric. How you doing today, Eric?
I am doing okay, all things considered. Restaurants are still open for carry out, so at least I'm having good meals occasionally. I've been working from home. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. Freaking awesome game. And yeah, so things have been going okay. I'm just hoping that by May or June at least, things get better.
Me too. I don't know. I feel like I'm praying for that, but I'm like
It won't be till at least May, but I'm hoping it won't be much longer.
I'm a bit of a pessimist when it comes to this. So I'm hoping. But yeah, we have American Idol to kind of talk about, which it is kind of crazy to think like in the coming months there's just gonna be shows. There's even once this all starts to go back to normal, there's just gonna be gaps of no shows, like no new things because everyone's still gonna be in that kind of awkward space. And I hope it is over soon because it'd be nice to talk to people in person outside of just behind screens. I don't know. But yeah, so we are going to be talking about the 2 episodes of Hollywood Week today. The next week we will be covering the final top 24, top 20 results or whatever.
And then I think we have one more week of podcast after because we'll do a draft.
Right.
Because voting starts earlier this season, so we have to draft from top 20.
I'm excited. I have a few people I've got my eye on, I will say. But yeah, so here's how we are going to kind of structure this. So of all the shows that we talk about, these couple episodes are the hardest to podcast about because there is a lot to get through. There's a lot of contestants not everyone's kind of focused on. So what we're going to do is we are going to talk about the contestants that are showcased the most, and we're going to kind of yada yada a little bit the montages, unless there's kind of something memorable there. But otherwise, we're going to kind of talk about the bigger chunks because it's like a salad, and there's a ton of different things you can focus on. We're going to, just for consistency's sake, and so this podcast isn't 4 hours long, like the 2 episodes were, that's what we're going to do. So we move in to Hollywood Week. So usually at this point we would have group auditions. Instead we have duets. Eric, what are your thoughts on this kind of shift that we're doing?
I liked several of the duets, and they still got all the BS drama out of the duets. So it's a lateral move for me. It's not significantly better. It's not significantly worse. It's just, this is my least favorite part of Hollywood Week. So
for me, I didn't like it. I like the groups. I mean, it's just, I like the drama a little bit. Like, this is the one time in American Idol where I'm like, all the drama can be here. Like, you can have, if you're gonna have it all, have it right here. I used to love in the older seasons when I was just starting to watch the show, the scrambling, the people running around, the kind of like people leaving the group, people coming here, and like there was a lot of stuff like that. And I don't know, the duets seem a little bit too clean, and that's maybe a little bit of the problem I have with like ABC Idol, where it's too clean. We're trying to make it a little bit more simpler and easier to follow. And correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, but this felt a little bit copycatting The Voice.
You are not wrong. You are 100% right. That, yep, duets are The Voice's thing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Second round are The Voice's thing, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it feels copycatty. Like I don't like that. Like the Hollywood Week structure was, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, it was fine the way it is. I don't know why we kind of needed to kind of switch it around. But there were also a lot of weird moments for me during Hollywood Week. For example, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit right here, but during the solo rounds, I don't know why the judges get like these hate for original songs. But there's one moment when we had like a string of people singing original songs, and Katy Perry turns to like the people who are still going to compete, and she said something like, we don't want original songs. Like, we should do what you can do best. And I was just thinking, but they've already picked their songs. Like, they're sitting there about to perform. Like, what good is telling them that now? Like, that's some of the problems I was noticing. Also, I don't know if it was just me, but in the first episode, was there no Ryan Seacrest? We heard his voice, but did we actually see him? I don't think he
I
was
don't.
there. I was like
Maybe
looking
not.
for him. I don't know. But
I kind of
let's
fast
kind of
forwarded through and just watched performances, so I can't say if it was Ryan or not.
all right. So kicking off this giant thing we're gonna get ourselves into, we have Louis Knight and Francisco Martin doing "Break Even" by the Script. This song takes me back. I haven't heard this since I was much a wee lad. But anyway, this is our first duet. Francisco is super nervous. He's kind of not handling the nerves a little bit. What'd you kind of make of it, Eric?
I thought it was a mess.
A mess.
Yeah, a flub
You know,
lyrics all over the place, and neither of them are like mind-boggling amazingly enough for me to put them through after flipping lyrics. I would have sent both of them home.
I just realized an idea I have that we should do here, Eric. Um, for each duet, we should assign a winner.
The winner in this duet was the girls, all of them.
Was the girl?
Was the girls.
Oh.
Because it means if a girl's going to win the season. Because if these are two guys that are hyping, the girl's going to win the season.
Yeah. For me, I would not have cut both. I would have cut Francisco here. I think dude's not ready. Dude's just he's not ready. I'm sorry. I feel like it's a disservice to the competition to let people like him keep going through. Like there's people. I feel like you gotta keep your shit together. Like this is Hollywood Week, but you gotta. It's if you. The whole point is to test if you can handle the pressure. If you can't, you gotta go. Honestly. But Louis, I thought Louis was not special, but he wasn't bad. Like that's why I would kind of.
I'm just still holding a grudge against him after Katy Perry at his first audition said you're gonna win, and all just said you're gonna win, and then said don't tell him he's gonna win because we have to keep him humble because he's gonna win, so we have to keep him humble. They were so wrong because he's just so average. It's just like, I mean,
He's not bad.
So is Lane. So maybe he will win. Maybe I'll be wrong.
Don't go conjuring that spirit up. Yeah, the problem is he's passable. He's there's a term that other people would use for him that I will not use, but he's just kind of.
Is it mediocre? Is that the term?
No, it's a little bit not as good. It's just he's passable and he's kind of getting by a bit on his looks and kind of the story.
Yes.
That's kind of what I would make of Louis. But yeah, that's kind of what I got for these two. Francisco, I would have cut. Louis, he would have gone through, but it would have been like for him, I would have done the Katy Perry like speech about like you barely got by. But otherwise, that's kind of what I got from these two. All right, so we have a montage. We're gonna kind of go through it a little bit quickly.
The only one in the montage that I care about was Ren, and she got cut. So
who was Ren again? I don't remember.
I don't know, but whoever Ren was, I was like, Ren got cut after that. It was better than both Louis and Francisco, whoever it was.
All right. Well, the next kind of contestants we have focus on are kind of Hannah Prestige and Grace Lear. They're performing "Mama's Broken Heart" by Miranda Lambert. Grace blew Hannah away here, in my opinion.
It's not my thing, so I can't really say. I mean, I'll say you're right, I guess, but I didn't really pay much attention to this one because that's really not my thing.
Yeah, I really like Grace. She's nowhere near my favorite, but she's like a B plus, but like a consistent B plus. Like Lane was like a consistent B. Grace is like a consistent B plus, which is like.
Problem is we have a season full of consistent A's and A minuses, so not enough.
I don't know. I miss the days when we would have like an Elise Testone. Like remember like that.
We have like 5
this season.
Yeah.
I'm
We
just
have
saying,
5 awesome singers in the season, at least.
I hope my girl's one of them. I will just say, I don't know. Like,
She's not in my 5, but
I enjoy Grace. I don't know if she's like capable of what her run would look like. The one I'm seeing in my head is maybe a bit unspectacular, but solid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see her kind of veering out of the country road. Like, I can see where she's gonna go, the songs she's gonna pick. The problem is with her is she's good, but she's not interesting. If that I don't mean that to say like in a harsh way, but it's I've seen what
that's the
she's
issue.
gonna
I have
do.
a chance.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I would want someone like her to surprise me. Like, she is someone who I would want to branch out, because country is a bit of a full bracket this season. Kind of, if someone
Really? You
I'm
think
just
so?
looking at the rock.
I think the country singers are by far the weakest category this season.
Yeah, but it's also very bloated. Honestly, I think there's a lot of them.
Okay. To
All
me,
right,
there's a lot
but
more soul and diva singers than country singers, but
them too. I would say soul slash R&B and country are the ones that I think are the most
big voices. There are a lot of big
Yeah.
voices.
And nothing for rock, which kind of really disappoints me. Like, ABC Idol, like, hasn't had a lot of rock. We had Cade Fainer the first season. He was like Christian rock, and then did we have anyone for season 2?
Some people would call Lane rock. I
I don't think
wouldn't.
Lane was rock. Lane was kind
I
of,
wouldn't call it that, but some people would.
I don't know. I'm just, what I'm thinking is that it's an open field. Like, if anyone wants to traverse that path, they will have it all to themselves. And that, I think, is one of the most like prized things to have at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's you that it's like you're sitting at a table and there's all these different food and there's one thing that no one else is touching. And I'm just waiting for one person to kind of reach out, because if they take it, they're taking the whole thing. Just what I'm thinking. But what about
That
you?
wasn't the worst metaphor you've come up with. I don't mind it.
That was a good one. Wait, what?
That wasn't
was a
the
good
worst.
one.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I mean, like, the country thing is like every slice of the pie is gone. The soul, it's
Yeah.
someone
You
go
don't need
there.
to-
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But anyway,
let's move on.
what about you? Who do you think would have won this duet?
Neither of them, but Grace. Next.
All
Let's
right,
move on.
we move on to Jimmy Levy and Nick Mariko. There's a lot to talk about Nick. He is montage later, but I do kind of want to focus on him. He has pissed in someone's yogurt this season. Like, one of the producers, like, someone just hates him, like, really hates him. Even if he makes it to the live shows, I think his boat is not just got a hole in it, it's got like lots of holes in it, and the water is kind of starting to catch up, and you got Nick in there just like, what happened? Like, what's going on with Nick, Eric?
I didn't watch the story. I just watched the performance. I could tell they don't like him based on the first edition and based on everything since. But I will say Jimmy kind of sucked, and Nick wasn't too much better. So.
The funny thing about it is that it hasn't been Nick. It's been the judges. Like, Nick is just, if you watch the show with no judges commentary, he's just a guy. Like, he just comes.
He's just an average to poor singer.
Yeah, and the judges just shit on him just over and over. And I'm like, why are we ganging up on this guy? Like, I think they're just bitter about last season, which is so bizarre, if that makes sense. But like I said, I'm still 100% going to be biased towards returning contestant. I love this song that they sing, actually. I recently fell in love with it. It's such a cool song, such a good one. Between these two, Jimmy, neither of them were great. I feel like the best I would say is Nick hit like a B-, but
a B-,
you know,
C+ if we're being generous.
For me, I'm a little, like I said, I am 100% biased.
Add a letter grade for your bias, sure.
The one thing I will say is that Nick is, if I was to be critical, and not to the degree the producers are, this is me just being like a fair critic. I think he is playing a little bit safe with his voice. Like maybe he could go a little bit further, maybe dig in. But honestly, I think he's
He's good.
DOA. He's DOA. Like
the second people can vote for him, if he even gets to that point, he's dead on arrival.
I'm telling you that, like, he has to do so, and it's by no fault of his own. At least as far as I can see, I don't think like the show hasn't. Aside
he
from
is
the judges,
outclassed by lots of other contestants, but still.
Yeah, but he's still fine. Like
he's fine. I mean, he's approximately Lane Hardy levels of fine.
Who's winning this duet, Eric?
Nick.
All right, I'm gonna go with Nick also. So we move on to, I guess the next one we will talk about Peyton Ulrich and Madison Page. Is that a good one to start?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So they're performing Don't You Want to Stay by Jason Aldean. And this part was drama, but it also wasn't like good drama. It was kind of like that awkward drama. Like there's good drama, there's bad drama, and then there's just like awkward, cringy drama. This is the awkward, cringy drama. So these two, I don't even know how they ended up together. Like how did this kind of come to be? But they're working together, and Peyton has disappeared, and he has gone, apparently, from what I could piece together, to a gas station and bought chicken wings, which right there I would eliminate you from the show for. And he is apparently just eating it in his room. And there's some the one saving grace is that at the end he did apologize, which does get him like some like slight points, but not much, honestly. What did you think?
I thought, hooray for BS Hollywood Week drama, and I didn't think this was any good. I thought this was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna give drama, like make it good drama. Like this is just
and at least pay it off with either a good performance where we shock everybody, or a true train wreck, which I will never forget. And they didn't do either. It was just not good.
Yeah, Peyton kind of was screwing up with like he was going to play piano and then he switches it to guitar and then they start singing it.
Preaching and stuff. It wasn't good.
Yeah. And yet they still both make it through. Like after all that, I was kind of thinking they'd both get the boot. It's funny because we didn't see either of this contestants like at any point. Was this the first time we've seen them?
I think we've seen them before, but I don't remember them.
I don't know. It just, what Hollywood Week really reminded me, I actually tweeted this out. There's contestants that kind of just pop up to go home. Like you have, you have the golden, there's a funny thing that I tweeted where it's like, if you have a golden child and some Joe Schmo that we're just being introduced to now, like paired up for a duet, it's like that. It reminds me of that Ralph gif from The Simpsons where he's laughing and he goes, "I'm in danger." Like that's what the contestants should be thinking. But I digress. Who wins this duet in your opinion?
Nobody.
That's not an
option. Madison wins because she didn't go get chicken wings, but
they had to have been really good chicken wings. Although, have you ever bought chicken wings from a gas station? That sounds like a disaster just waiting to happen.
Anything with gas station sounds like a disaster. Anyway,
like sushi and just don't eat gas station food that isn't like in a bag, like of potato chips or something. Like. Okay. All right. I guess the next one we'll kind of focus on here is Zach Dobbins and Courtney Timmons. We saw both of these guys in the auditions. I think this is the first time we've seen Courtney since. I don't think we saw her last round. She was that girl who kind of was waiting outside the auditions and just kind of was invited to go try out. And as soon as I heard that they were singing Dangerous Woman, I was like, some shit has gone down here. Because that is a very weird song for these two. What was going on here, Eric?
I kind of fast forwarded through it because I didn't really care.
I watched it. I took the bullet for both of us.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I took the bullet. So essentially, they couldn't figure out the song, and I think it was like midnight where they settled on "Ain't No Mountain High Enough," and then they didn't like it, and so they switched it at 2:45 to "Dangerous Woman," which, by the way, I don't know what was going on with the from what I saw, from what I could piece together, it seemed more like Courtney was kind of trying to switch the song because this is just an unfair song. Like it's not a song for Zach. And most of the songs that they were kind of originally gonna do just don't work with him. Like this is what feels like the last two people who were left in the room together looked at each other and goes, I guess it's gotta be us because it just doesn't make sense otherwise. And yeah, there's one scene where they just don't Zach has never heard of the song. He's learning it for the first time 5 hours before he's going to be performing it. And there's a scene where he's looking at the lyrics and you see Pisha McPhee like just looks at the camera for like a second and she has like these woe is me eyes like trying to work this out. And from beginning to end from their performance, it's just a hot mess.
Yep,
Did you watch the performance?
I did. I forgot it, but I watched it.
I mean, it just isn't fair because Courtney clearly knew the song and Zach just didn't. And that's not fair. Like you gotta at least either you both don't know the song or you both know the song. Like that's kind of in group rounds I can understand. Like there's one person, okay, we'll teach you the song. Don't worry about it. But th- come on.
Okay.
Who wins though?
For producers,
I would give it to. Oh wow, this is really hard. I'd give it. I have to give it to Courtney because she at least, even though it's unfair, I still would give it to her.
okay, you do that.
All right. So next we move on to what is with some of these names? We have YZ the singer and Alana Jester, and I think YZ the singer like it's THA.
Yeah.
All right, and Alana Jester. They're performing like "I'm Gonna Lose You" by Megan Trainor. Yeah, this is another case of drama that's not good. It's just awkward. Like they're trying the show's like trying to pair them up as a couple, but she's got a boyfriend. Like that just seems really bizarre, Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I was just watching.
Neither of them were good enough to justify my caring.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of either of them, honestly. They were fine, but forgettable.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of what I've got. Between the two, this is really a toss up, but I'm gonna go with Alana because she doesn't have her name isn't YZ the singer. Anyway,
Okay.
we move on to Faith Besnell and Jovan Webb, Man's World, and my God, I really enjoyed this, Eric.
I did too. I will say, Joven is officially my favorite guy in the competition at this point.
Yeah, this dude is
He's really good.
good. Like he's so I hate to say it, he's so good he won't win. Like that's
Precisely.
where we're at.
He's not gonna win
Every season.
which means I hope a girl wins because he's the only guy I could justify winning, honestly. And Faith did well. Faith did really well, but he outshone her still, even.
Yeah, this is an uneven pairing, honestly. Like
Yes.
Joven is kind of on such a high level. He is someone if he's got a rock star in him, like I'm telling you.
He doesn't. It's not my type of music what he sings, but he's really good. I like him a lot.
Yeah. This for me was a highlight of the episode. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually went back and watched it twice because I feel like I'm already mourning his elimination, but I know he's probably still gonna last in the show. It's just he's so good that I know this isn't gonna end well.
I'm sure those will screw him over like round one.
Yeah, but I think this is no question who won this, right?
Yes, Joven wins next.
All right, we move on to the next one we will talk about. Joven was the most vocally strong performance, I think, of the episode. Can we agree, sort of, ish, of the guys? I will say of the guys.
Of the guys, yes.
But the next performance was my favorite of the episode for obvious reasons, but we will talk about it. It is Genevieve Linkowski and Travis Finley performing The Prayer by Celine Dion, which right away, this is a weird song to have during duets. Like this is usually like a finale song, like or a live show song. It just feels really awkward to have it here. But my God, this is like they're both returning contestants. Travis was on the same season 14. Like this is, and they're really good. And last time we talked, I remember I said on the podcast, I said there was a guy there. I knew he was Travis. Like I remembered him. I pointed it out. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes. I love this duet. I loved it. I love Genevieve. I love Travis. I would be okay if these were the final two, almost, because Joven should be there. What about you?
I am not as sold on Genevieve as you are, but I have to say she did do a great job with this. This was great. Is it my favorite of the night? No, but it was really good. It was up there.
I'm allowed to be biased. It is my number one favorite of the episode. I want to see more of Travis. Like the focus was so on Genevieve, but Travis is also like really, really good. Like I really like this duet. I love that they're both returning contestants. They're my
Yes, we know.
they're everything I enjoy in these shows. They are my favorite, two of my favorite contestants this season. And yeah, that's kind of what I got for them. Genevieve can do no wrong in my eyes. I'm praying for good things for her. I'm viewing it with like rose-colored glasses. But anyway, let's move on to let's talk about Kate Luna and Space Cowboy. They're performing Somebody You Loved by Louis Capaldi.
I just have one note. Only one note. Never audition with anybody you care about. That's it.
It is a recipe for disaster. Have we ever had one of them like a duo make it to the live shows?
No.
The closest was Colton Dixon and Skylar. They made it to Vegas together. That's as far as they went together, I think.
Yeah, sure. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the producers can't help themselves. They always have to cut something.
They love it. They like it is their.
It's like they salivate over it.
It happens a couple of times this episode. Like it's not even just one occasion, or maybe. Well, the other one I'm thinking about, who we will be talking about that other people. But these two, I was like, I didn't really care for either of them, honestly. What about you?
Never did I. Let's move on.
All right. Kat, though, wins by default.
Sure.
All right. We move on to Johnny West and Margie Mays, Like I'm Gonna Lose You by Meghan Trainor. So, Eric said it. Don't go on these shows with a family member, with a significant other. It is
a friend, with anybody remotely care about speaking to.
Even if you do know them, like pretend you don't. Like even if you're on with your brother, just pretend I don't know who this man is. And the producers will be like, "We have your birth certificates." You're like, "I don't know him."
Mm-hmm.
There's no connection. But yeah, this episode, both episodes together, the Margie Mays and Johnny West, they got a lot of screen time, both episodes. And I do feel like the same producers that hate Nick really like these two for the drama, but they also really like Johnny. I think I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think when they cut one of these, like Johnny and Margie are in a different category than Kate and Space Cowboy. Like they are focused. I think we're going to see Johnny a lot this season. I think they're building his story up. Like I can imagine him kind of sticking around. And of the two, it's so unfortunate for Margie that her boyfriend is like better than her. Like it's just the vote. It's just no competition. Like he's just so much better, Eric.
Yeah, I don't really like either of them that much.
I don't know. I would disagree.
But
I think Johnny, like, this is the Colton and Skylar Dixon comparison, I think, here,
I mean,
honestly.
yes.
Um,
But we'll see what happens. We'll find out later in this episode what happens actually.
yeah, and for as much as we shit on the judges, I will say there was one nugget from Katy Perry that I think didn't earn her the $25 million contract, but it gave her one thumbs up from me for her judging, where she says, give each other a little space. And I think that would have been so much better if they had picked other duet partners, honestly, just because they are a great couple, but their voices don't, like, they're just different. You know what I mean? It's not bad. It's just they don't, they can love each other or whatever, but the vocal doesn't work. And Johnny is just gonna always outshine her, just always. And I'm really bummed that we ended up losing Margie, but we will talk about her a little bit later. They both end up making it through, although the judges do kind of give them some shit all the while. So we move on to Michaela Phillips and Sanaya Elise. They are also performing the prayer. So I really love Genevieve. I think she's my favorite contestant. But I think the strongest female vocalist in the competition is Sanaya. Am I right, Eric?
I think it's Michaela, but
I would disagree.
I think they're neck and neck.
Yeah, Sanaya. I mean, this girl's good. Like, really, both of them are really good.
Like, they're pure based on vocals and vocals alone. These were the two strongest vocalists in the competition.
Yeah, in terms of I'm not that high on Michaela. I just don't enjoy her that much. I think it's a little bit too. It's weird because she's young, but I also would use the word overbaked. Like, I feel like it's overdone. Like, it's too. It feels put on a little bit. Like, their raw vocal talent, they get a check plus from me. But Sanaya, I feel, comes across more real. She's good, and I really, really enjoy her voice. Like, she reminds me of like a young Jennifer Hudson. Like, she's just really, really good, Eric.
She is definitely in my top 5. And the excruciating thing is that I know she's not going to win because she's not current enough to win, but it just bugs me.
You never know. Like, I could see her. There's some current artists that maybe she could. It all depends on what she does or the producers do. You can make this girl current. You could put her in like a 50s dress and make her sing Whitney or someone. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's kind of
But that's as far as potential goes, she has a ton of it. So.
All right. So, who won that duet?
You're biased towards Genevieve. I'm biased towards Michaela. I still think it's. I'm not gonna call a winner. I think both of them are really, really good.
I'm going with Sanaya.
I know you are, but I'm gonna go with both of them.
All right. Well, next up we have Robert Taylor and Tito Ray. This was
a mess. Let's skip it.
This was a mess times a mess. I mean, I get that you could sing, but what this was, I'll tell you exactly what this was. This was showing off. Like, they can do this, but it
was a mess. Anyway, let's move on. I don't want to talk about these duets anymore because the solo round was so much more interesting to me. So all
right, we just have one last duet to kind of talk about here. It's Just Sam and Chanel Masonette performing Mercy by Shawn Mendes. A lot of people really like Just Sam this season, and I really didn't like her this episode. I know a lot of people did, but there's something I just can't get onto the Just Sam train. I mean, they have this whole segment on Just Sam can't take the pressure, and she's just running away. And Chanel is just looking around going, like, where's my partner? And Just Sam is just gone. Like, I feel like at that point, if you can't handle it, like, you owe it to your duet partner to either tough it out or just go walk home. Like that's it. Like, I don't like this all, because you can't bring someone else down with you. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
But her
Um,
vocal, she's lucky because her vocals back her up. But if anyone is a little bit deserving of the Nick Marico treatment, I think it's almost just Sam a little bit because it's just like why is she getting a pass on what she kind of was doing to her duet partner? It came across to me as I'm like, no, you can't get back there. Like, she's your partner. If you're not going to perform with her, you should leave the competition. Like, that's how I think it should be. Maybe am I being too harsh, Eric?
I mean, the producers would call you a heartless bastard right now because they want her to win.
Yeah, but that's not fair because you can't pull the double standard on Nick and not do it on Just Sam too. You know what I mean? I feel like they're cherry picking here, and that's not fair.
To an extent, yes. I think Jeff Sam is a much better singer than Nick and deserves a little bit more leeway, but yeah. I think that she is clearly the producer's favorite this season. They have highlighted her in every single episode so far, and quite significantly highlighted her. So
I don't like it. Like, I don't think there's other. If you want to do that with like your contestants, you could go with Michaela. You could go with Sinai. I would get it. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Michaela, but I would get it. Like, Just Sam. First of all, like, I just can't get invested. Like, this girl is like a ball of emotions, and like she looks like she's on the verge of crumbling. Like, every time I see her on the show, like she and Francisco should be in the same category. They're not ready, and for me, it is like a cardinal sin, like to do that to your duet partner, to kind of just leave them hanging. Like with Peyton, we kind of like we're making fun of him. Why are we kind of giving Just Sam a pass for kind of doing the exact same thing? Right?
yeah, basically.
But I digress. Maybe it's just because I hate train singers. Like,
Ding.
Eric, you probably ride on like trains or buses. Like, have you? You're sitting on the train, and some people are just like, "Hey, we're gonna start singing now. Give us money." I'm like, I'm trying to send an email. Like, what do you want from me? Like, here's $1. Just leave me alone. That's me.
Ding. Next. Move on.
Are we gonna have the counter for this episode?
No, Conroe took a lot more effort at editing than I wanted it to take.
It's what?
It took
It's
a lot
what?
of editing, and I'm not doing it again.
It was really funny though. I will say,
I'm
like,
glad you enjoyed it, but it's not happening.
A plus. So that is the group rounds. We are now going to be talking about some solos. I love the solo round. This is my favorite part of Hollywood Week. But before we get to it, we have Alejandro shows up.
Great
And now we have our
promo.
first contestant. What?
I'm glad they're giving him promo. I don't like him, but I'm glad they're giving him promo. Next.
Why do you hate him, Eric? Eric has hated
I
on
don't
this
hate him
feud.
as a person. He seems like a lovely person, but I just really don't like his voice at all. Anyway, and even if I don't like him, I'm happy their show is featuring him because it's good for the show.
All right. Next up, we have we have Kimmy Gabriella performing "I'm Here" from The Color Purple, which this was sung like 3 times this episode. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There are a lot of song repeats, but that's just how Hollywood Week works usually.
Yeah, it's also just weird. Like, I know this song because of a contestant on season 12, and I've only heard it on American Idol, and it's almost at the point where it's become an American Idol song more than wherever it's from, for me at least. But anyway, what did you think of Kimmy?
It was good, but not as stellar as I remember her being.
Yeah, I was kind of lukewarm on it. I thought it was solid. I wasn't blown away. I think
Yeah, same.
I don't know what the problem with this singer is. Maybe do you think it's the song choice? Maybe it's the what do you think is the problem here?
I don't know, honestly, but yeah, I just don't know.
All right, well, we move on to Genevieve Linkowski performing "In My Blood" by Shawn Mendes. So this was where she was cut last year, and she continues to do everything I want her to do. I love this girl. A plus plus.
Honestly, I wasn't blown away by this one. I thought her duet was better. It was good. It wasn't spectacular.
Would you cut her here? What do you think?
I wouldn't cut her. No, of course not. I would put her in my top 20.
Next, we have Jovan Webb, which, my God, this dude, like, he should be getting the Just Sam treatment. Like, he is,
Yes.
like, if you were going to,
He's as good as the
he is,
producers think she is.
he is like an ice cream sundae, but in an ice cream sundae, he is like the extra special, like, topping. He's like the whipped cream. Like, but the thing is, there you go. He's like, imagine you have an ice cream, but you have just like a tiny brownie in the corner. Like, that's the best part. Like, why are we not? I want more brownies. Like, I want more. This dude is just, he's so good. Like, he's really good. And his performance here, it's awesome. Like, it's the blues. It's what I enjoy in this contestant. And he delivers, and he is someone to get excited about. And
I'm excited about him.
Once the show evens out and we start giving each contestant like equal amount of time, which now I'm actually realizing that we're not going to get that probably until the summer. But when we do, like, he is someone who I think is going, he's that sleeper. He is going to bam, like, unless he flops really bad, which I will be really disappointed. He is that potential where he's going to have this performance and it is going to boom, and everyone's going to go like, I had no idea he was that good. Like, why weren't we showing more of him? He is like that.
Yes.
Yeah, but otherwise, he is in my top 5. This dude rocks. All right, well, we have Perrin York doing Good as Hell by Lizzo. I totally forgot this performance, honestly.
I liked it. Faith, Becknell, Allison sang it better.
Allison who?
Iraheta.
She sang this song? When?
Crybaby, the next song. Faith. I'm moving on to Faith.
Oh, I was on Perrin.
I like Perrin a lot. That's all I have to say about Perrin.
Oh.
That's all producers have to say about Perrin. Yeah, you get to see her for 10 seconds and we'll never see her again.
She's gone. We'll never hear her again.
Yeah.
We have Faith Bennett. How do I pronounce his name, Eric?
Becknell, I think. I don't know.
Becknell. She's performing "Crybaby" by Janis Joplin.
And Weston Iraheta's best performance on American Idol. This was live up to it. Next.
Faith. One last thing to say on Faith. She does this thing. I think this is the contestant I'm thinking of. She does something that is super distracting when she sings. So, like, she's holding the mic. I'll do it with my glasses. So she's holding the mic, and every time she like does vibrato, she like wiggles her hands. Like, it's super distracting. I noticed it, and now I can't not notice it. Like, every time she's like,
okay,
like, stop it.
Your word for it. I wasn't paying enough attention to her.
I'm like, stop it.
Okay.
Next up, we have Jeb Vonderbruij. He's performing Rocket Man by Elton John. I actually really enjoyed this dude's like confessionals where he's kind of just chilling and talking. He kind of almost, I have no vocal talent. Like, when I sing, it's like birds squawking. But if I was, like, I could see myself in this contestant. Like, he reminds me, like, if I was to sing, like, be on the show, he's like a little bit what I could see myself doing, even though probably to a much worser degree. Worser isn't a word. But Rocket Man, it's solid. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. What about you?
I can't get over the fact we have a Jeb on American Idol. And just like the average Jeb, he's not going to win. Next.
Arthur Gunn performing Have You Ever Seen the Rain by CCR. It's kind of weird that he's doing the same song as his audition. Like, really weird.
Yes. I'm going to go beyond weird and say I really don't like it. I really hate that he did a repeat this early because it was good, but I wanted to hear something new. And I think it's way too early to start repeating yourself.
All right. So on American Idol, we always champion, at least in my opinion, I champion creativity over, like, I would rather you go for the big thing and go down in flames than to not do it at all and play it safe. Like, I would rather, there was for a contestant last year, his name was Uche. He took risks. He did ridiculous things that kind of are just so unexpected. I appreciated it because he was willing to do that. Even if you fail, even if you crash and burn, I can look at you and say, I appreciate you tried. You tried to give us something different. And I think Arthur was kind of thinking along those lines, but he is one of those cases where he went high and he fell. Like he jumped for the ledge, couldn't get it. What this reminded me of on the first season of American Idol that I watched, there was a contestant called Todrick Hall, who apparently now is like a celebrity. There was some art.
Oh, he's by far the most successful contestant from that season now.
Which is weird because I thought he was pretty bad on American Idol. But
so did I.
He performed Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson.
That was the reason. That was what I remember being particularly bad.
What Arthur's performance here it reminded me of that performance, where you take the song and it's unrecognizable. Like you've done something to it. Like if you have a song that you want to flip, you can flip it however you want. You could do whatever. You could cut it up to here, there, whatever. But it's got to be the same song. Like I've got to be able to listen to it and go, I know that's the same. If I wasn't following the words, I would have no idea what he's singing. He almost wrote a new song with just used CCR's lyrics. You know what I mean?
Basically. Yeah, pretty much.
But so yeah, the Todrick Hall and Arthur Gunn, that's the comparison that kind of came to mind here. But at least he tried. Like I give him the point. So the vocal ability, like what it was, I would average it out to a C+, because at least he tried. The dude attempted.
Okay.
What about you?
I'd give it a C+ as well.
All right. Well, we move on to Lauren.
Original song.
Yeah. Yeah. This was what I was talking about.
We'll skip that montage and just say, here's some contrast being set up, and now we're gonna have the payoff for Miss Getty.
I can't get over that scene when Katy Perry's like, do you see how they're not doing well with the originals? You shouldn't do originals. And I just wanted someone to scream, we already picked our songs. Like, what do you want us to do? Like, we're going on in 20 minutes. You want us to go pick some CCR song? Like, what are we going to do? Katy Perry, tell me what we're going to do. But anyway, Lauren Machete, I think this is the first time we've seen her in Hollywood Week. No? Anyway, yeah, her performance was shared ahead of time. And I don't know. What did you make of it, Eric?
If this is like last season or season 16, what's going to happen with this is she's going to win and I'm going to be disappointed. Because the judges love her. And
I don't think she wins.
Not my thing at all.
She is kind of in the... She's a little bit more of a country version of Maddie Poppy.
You're right, and that's why she's going to win, and that's why I'm going to be really disappointed. Anyway, let's move on.
I don't know. I don't know if I would say that, because how old is Lauren? I think she's like 27, right?
Yeah, ish. I don't know.
Maddie was 20. I mean, they usually... Look at the past winners, is what I will say. Like with Nick kind of being the outlier, they're always... Right? Am I getting that right? Trent?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. We'll see. We move on to Sophia Wackerman. She is performing Somewhere from West Side Story. What a weird song for Hollywood Week. This is like a live show song.
Choice because it's way too big for her.
Yeah. I like Sophia when she's behind a piano, as I like a lot of people this season. But it
wasn't a disaster, but it also was not a knockout. And this song has the potential for knockout, and she didn't live up to that.
I mean, Sophia even knew it wasn't great. Like, she comes out and she says...
Yeah, and I respect that.
I can respect that, too. Like, I love self-awareness in contestants. Like,
me too.
When they can at least know... Because when everyone's kind of all like, oh, I gave it my best and it's up to the judges. I'm like, no, at least, like, tell me, like, yeah, I fucked up. Like, at least I appreciate the honesty there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, we have Sarah Eisen. Leave the Lights On. I thought it was better, but I wasn't blown away either.
Agreed. Next.
You want to talk about Kat, or should we skip over Kat?
We could skip over Kat.
All right. We move on to Franklin Boone. River by Leon Bridges. I enjoy Franklin. I don't think he's great, but I think he's solid. Like, he's he's inoffensive. He's just doing his thing.
I was sort of falling asleep.
Next up, we have Just Sam performing "I'm Here" from The Color Purple. So yeah, so now she has a sore throat. She's hoarse, but she gets on stage and she's solid. I'm telling you, every time she's on the show, like I feel anxious because this girl's just like, she looks like she's about to like explode. Like she looks so nervous. Like, I'm not wrong, right?
You're not. I will say though, they are pimping the hell out of her, so they must have the confidence that she can deliver.
I mean, if you don't show us the backstage stuff, she's very good. Like, if you just put her on stage singing, like, without the drama of everything else, but I don't know this woman personally, but she just comes across as very high maintenance. Like, she's just very, you know what I mean? Like,
To an
but
extent,
for the
yes,
but for the show, if you don't show that, if you just show her on stage singing, she's going to get a lot of standing ovations, and that's kind of where I am with her. I'm not on the train because I just... Did you see what I did there?
episode title.
I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize that.
Thank you. I was struggling to come up with an episode title, and you just solved that. Thank you, Adam.
The hashtag Just Sam train. But I'm not on the train like of her like fan base. I'm on like the train getting away. All right. Next up, the next real focused contestant is Michaela Brownlee. What?
Oh, fine. No, we can't.
Right?
We can't skip Lauren Spencer Smith.
All right. Lauren Spencer Smith. When was she?
She was sort of montaged a little bit, but the couple 30 seconds or so I saw of the performance was my favorite performance of the episode. My God, she's good, and I wanted to see more of her. I wish we could see as much of her as we see of Just Sam, because to me, Lauren is the one to beat. If they would just show her, she is so good.
I think I figured this out. So both of us have types that we kind of enjoy listening to on American Idol. You like Lauren because she's like Madison.
With the connection. She's Madison without the problems that Madison had.
Madison had problems. There could still be a lot of problems with Lauren Spencer Smith. Like once you get to the live shows, like Madison was taken over by the producers. Like they twisted her into something that I couldn't even recognize.
Well, no, the problem with Madison is she couldn't connect to the songs that she was singing. She had a great voice, but she was smiling through sad songs and stuff. That was the problem with her. She wasn't connected at all. Lauren is connected to what she's singing, and this performance was my favorite of the episode.
All right. Well, Michaela Brownlee is performing Rainbow. So earlier in the episode, she has like some stress condition, which right there, if you have a stress condition, why are you on a show like American Idol?
That seems like a bad idea anyway.
Right? Like, I would think you would want a life free of stress so you don't have, I don't know, but American Idol producers love two things. They love couples that they can split up, and they love someone who faints during the show. Like they love it. And this was like this would have them salivating at the mouth. Like there's the scenes of the people running with the wheelchair. There's like people in hospital stuff. Like I almost expected them to like wheel her out in a hospital bed. Like they just love it. They love when the contestants are like, there's one every season. There was that girl who fell off the stage. There was the fainting on stage. Like, remember with Johnny Keezer?
I don't care about any of the Idol ones. I care about Panda from X Factor.
Panda was a legend. I love that lady. What did you make of Michaela?
Good, but not withstanding or worthy.
Co-signed. And we move on to Dylan James. He's performing an original song. I want to like him more than I do. Like, it's just kind of, the vocal is just, it's okay. Inoffensive.
Co-signed.
Louis Knight, who Eric really doesn't like. He is performing Hold Me
I do
While You
not
Wait.
like him. He seems like a lovely person, but genuinely, I still don't get the hype around him. The fact that they were pimping this kid to the sky at his audition, and he hasn't delivered anything close to being worthy of that, it just kind of bugs me. I should have a grudge against producers, not him, and I know that. Yeah.
There was a contestant from the first season of ABC American Idol, Johnny. What was his name? I should find this out.
The shitty thing is I'm almost positive he actually opened for Katie Turner, so I know him, I think.
Johnny Brens. Yes.
Brens.
So,
yes, Johnny Brens. Yeah.
So
here's the thing that pissed me off about not knowing who he was, because he opened for Katie Turner when I saw her in Philly. So.
Huh? Was he good?
He was okay.
All right. So what I was kind of thinking is Louis Knight more of like a Colton Dixon or a Johnny Brens?
Given how much they're pushing him, they're aiming for him to be Colton Dixon or even the winner. So I'm hoping we'll see.
I'm not blown away by him yet. I just personally have other favorites.
He's not delivered a performance over a B for me so far.
Well, we will see if he can change things moving forward. So the next kind of contestant that we really get to focus on is Michaela Phillips. Because I Love You by Lizza. They were kind of in a montage.
We could just say Sanaya was fantastic again, and that's enough. Let's talk about Michaela now.
Go ahead with Michaela.
At least she took a risk. It did not pay off, obviously, but there were a couple of moments in it that were good.
Yeah, I just can't get into this girl. Like, I don't.
Can't.
What?
I know you can't. That's okay.
Like, there's one of these contestants like every season that like on paper I would be invested in, and I just don't have any investment. Like, I just don't. Like, she's good. She sings. There's nothing wrong with her. It's just I don't have any connection with her. She is Madison for me. Like, there's no connection there. It's just she's singing because.
Pretty much. Yeah, she has the same issue that Madison had. Absolutely. And that's why I want you to go back and watch Lauren, because Lauren had a connection before she was singing this time, and you need to watch that.
All right. Well, next up, we kind of have these two contestants that we got to talk about together. Johnny West, Margie Mays. Finally happened. What?
We kind of already discussed it on the duet round. We can recap it quickly. Yeah, he goes through, she gets cut. Duh.
I'm so bummed because I really wanted to. It's Margie's own fault. Like, whoever's idea it was for them to audition together, that's who sent Margie home here.
Yes.
But yeah, we've talked about these two and length. I think though, there's like a subcategory of like piano guys this season that I think Johnny is in. Like, Louis in it also. I think one of them is going to come out on top. I'm thinking it's going to be Johnny. I think he's going to be in this for the long game, honestly.
I hope neither of them make it that far, honestly, because there's so many girls and a couple guys who are so much better than them.
Eric, who's your top 5 from these 2 episodes?
Well, still, Lauren Spencer-Stiff, number 1. Sanaya, probably number 2. Joven, number 3. Michaela, number 4. And Yeah, it's tough, but yeah, I don't really have a number five honestly at this point. Your turn.
Genevieve is perfectly able to slip right in there. I'm going to go Genevieve, Travis, Joven, Sanaya. I don't know who the other one would be. Maybe Arthur Gunn as a whole. I really didn't like this. What?
Did you
What was
even
that?
watch Lauren?
I didn't hear you.
Did you even watch Lauren?
I think I did. Yeah, I remember.
You're saying the joke.
Yeah, no, I remember her performance. Because she said like she just picked it or she never heard the song beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching her. I was just, I don't know, maybe I was rushing through it. But
Okay.
yeah. So
Anyway.
then we get the results. And the only contestant who I think was like highlighted that was cut was Margie. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, probably.
So we spent 2 hours for nothing.
I mean, yes, but
You might as well just have cut Margie during the groups. We could have saved 2 hours here.
well, we got to see some more good performances at least.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's kind of the episode. I mean, this was the first episode of Reality Hour in a while that I think actually hit an hour.
Correct. We earned the title this time.
Well, so that's kind of these two episodes. I mean, it's going to be a real bummer that there's going to be like months before we see these people again.
No, first to be like 7 days.
No, I mean after that.
Okay, fine. After that,
Yeah.
months, but we have 2 more episodes to get through.
I'm like just saying, my throat's dry and I'm really hoarse now all of a sudden. I'm Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox or in my two websites, adamsoapbox.com and adamcvblog.com. Where can we find you, Eric?
Eric _Ascher on Twitter, ericascher.com, bit.ly/ericlawvids.
Anything else you want to talk about from the episode, from the show, reality TV, everything?
Well, Britain's Got Talent auditions start next month, so we'll have something to cover at least.
They start what?
Next month.
They start taping?
No, but they start airing.
Oh.
It's already been
All right.
taped. So you know what? That'll be a good thing to fill the void while Idol's not on.
I don't think I can watch more Got Talent. Like
I
can only take so much Simon Cowell.
There's no Howie though.
But there's Simon, and Simon's almost at times worse than Howie. Yes, I said that because Howie I don't expect much from, but Simon knows better, and you know I'm right.
Well, what we can do is we'll come up with bonus episodes or something. We'll figure it out and tell you all next week.
All right, Eric, this was a fun podcast. I'm hoping, I have high hopes, but whenever I have high hopes, they always have to be knocked over at some point.
Okay. See you next week, everybody.
Until next time, to our viewers, if you made it this far, give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment, share.
And wash your hands and stay inside.
We need like a snappy like ending thing, like a last 2 words. Like people always say like, wear your seatbelt or call your mother or like some ending thing.
Bye.
Bye.